Gazet International magazine is a global entity dedicated to delivering the latest information and news updates from around the world. We capture the most recent stories in banking, finance, lifestyle, and various facets of our world. Join us to stay informed about the latest developments in the realms of business, banking, and finance. Stay tuned.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lu. Thank you so much for joining us in our podcast. It is a pleasure having you here.
Thanks, Rasha.
So, you are from AsiaPay, and AsiaPay has been, one of the pioneers in the digital payment landscape. So, I want to start with let's kick things off by giving our listeners a bit of a background, a little bit of overview about AsiaPay. So, can you provide an overview about AsiaPay's journey and its mission in the digital payment industry?
Yes, sure. Hey, thanks again for inviting me for this interview. And it's a pleasure for me to spend a couple of time to talk about what AsiaPay is about, not only in Malaysia, but of course across the region in Asia. So yeah, AsiaPay stands the leading digital payment solutions and is a technology vendor that's been operating across Asia Pacific since 2000. Its company's vision primarily relies on e-commerce business, or rather we call it the cashless payments, which includes tap to pay, a solution that we can provide to the merchants. And also not only to the merchants, we are able to provide those solutions to the banks that are in need of a trusted payment gateway that also provides alternative payment methods. AsiaPay offers its variety of award-winning payment solutions that are multi-currency, multilingual, multi-card, and multi-channel, along with its advanced fraud detection and management solutions. Hence, AsiaPay aims to bring fast, digital and secure and convenient cashless transactions across all over the world.
I believe AsiaPay has been through quite a journey, like a long journey. So can you tell us about the specific roles you perform as the country head director of AsiaPay Malaysia?
Yeah, sure. So when I was hired in AsiaPay a couple of months back, my role is really to grow the business of AsiaPay Malaysia. What do? I strategize and I plan a business strategy then to develop and implement as well as execute the organization's business direction, as well as the operational function to optimize the performance here in Malaysia. Obviously, driving profitability is one of it. Expanding the company's P&L is another one. Managing the company structure as well as the strategy. Communicating to our partners, partner banks, our stakeholders, that we are able to provide payment methods to our merchants. Of course, with my experience in the payment space, I will mentor and interact with members of my staff at all levels to foster growth and encourage development of my staff among the senior executive team and as well as all members of staff.
It is always like really amazing to hear from the expert themselves. So moving on, since the digital payment landscape is, it's rapidly evolving, it's always changing, there are new changes and new developments. So since I want to ask you this, since the birth of AsiaPay, how has the digital payment landscape evolved? What trends do you see that could shape AsiaPay in the future?
Okay. From what you and I know, I think payments have changed a lot, right? From cash to cards to e-commerce. And of course, AsiaPay believes that the digitalization is the key to the future of payments. We aim to impart our advanced technology and services to the businesses and promote contactless payments in other parts of Asia, not only in Malaysia. And of course, the contactless payment adoption continues to climb, especially during the COVID pandemic, to reduce the risk of handling hard cash and as well as card. And this has already benefited the merchants that moving towards the e-commerce industry. So from the other industry player, even MasterCard has witnessed a surge of 40% in contactless payments in the first quarter of 2022. In China, the highest adoption rate were the e-wallets. Purchases were 23% higher than that of cash purchases. Contactless payment technology continues to evolve to meet consumer demand, definitely, and address convenience as well as security concerns. The trend would be more adoption of biometric authentication. POSless, customer pays direct with an app. If you and I may know, sometimes you may have table ordering app that you can order your food and pay as well at your table without going through payments through the POS or being a contactless transaction through the terminals. Nevertheless, the tap-to-pay solution that AsiaPay has also allows and caters to a face-to-face payments for merchants that requires it, because not all merchants will do a table pay. Likewise, like the fine dining restaurants, you probably need to pay over a terminal, right? So that's what we can cater to. For digital wallet, yes, we are moving into digital wallet as well as Internet of Things support, and we also support to feel the Web 3.0 as a contactless payment method as well in the near future. The non-bank financial institutions plays an important part at this role. Being a FinTech player, they are able to enable and facilitate the adoption of contactless payments.
It seems like you've had the front row seat to witness all these, how the developments and the advancements in the field of digital payment. So could you give us a little bit of insight about innovation and solutions? So I want to ask you, can you highlight some of the innovative payment solutions that AsiaPay offers to businesses and organizations?
Okay, on the technology front, we are being certified as a 3D secure vendor, which is very important for security, especially when it goes into cashless payments, which the ACS as well as the MPI, ACS as access control server, MPI as the merchant plugin, they offer their value banks to payment platform clients and array of prevailing checkout platform plugins. So we are customizing e-payment solution platforms, especially on the payment gateway, and more importantly, the anti-fraud solution, as well as the tokenization, DCC as dual currency converter, MCP as a multiple currency provider, the e-wallets, the mobile payments. These are some, to name a few, these are the innovation that AsiaPay is able to customize and integrate, as well as to develop the services for our valued merchants.
How does AsiaPay ensure the security and reliability of its payment processing services, especially in the face of growing cybersecurity threats?
Yeah, you're right. So cybersecurity threats is definitely a threat to e-commerce merchants, to cashless payments. So more importantly, in AsiaPay, we strive to reduce fraud on payment transactions. So we verify transactions with risk-based analytics to help stop fraud before it happens. So not only for that, we also enhance shopping experience for customers. So by doing that, preventing fraud, we enhance the trust and confidence for online shopping. If you have done e-commerce or online shopping, you probably know shopping cart is one of the important segment of e-commerce online shopping. Why? Because the shopping cart will then proceed to a more secure and seamless checkout process. So we in AsiaPay, partnering with strategic partners like Shopify, WooCommerce, Magento, SiteMinder, to name a few. These are the plugins that are able to provide additional security to check out your purchases over the e-commerce platform. Merchants definitely will gain business insights through transactions, right? And issuers, the card issuers are also able to have visibility of the cardholders' activities, and that will be able to spot consumer trends as well as consumer behavior, as well as fraudulent activities if there are any how to say, any duplicate transactions, they are able to block it before that it gets fraudulent.
Okay, so AsiaPay holds a really strong presence in the Asia Pacific, right? And so you guys are one of the leading digital payment service providers in the Asia Pacific. So could you tell us about the challenges and opportunities that AsiaPay is presented with as it holds a strong presence in the Asia Pacific region?
Yeah. So before the pre-pandemic COVID, right? There are challenges of merchants or even the consumers skeptical in buying products via e-commerce or via online. But because of COVID, we sort of innovate or build to embrace the cashless payments transaction. So globalization is one thing, education. We have the big data to show that people are using more mobile internet. We have new technology trend as the pandemic continues to accelerate global economies towards the cashless future. So on the business side, we have to ensure that the customer behavior continue to evolve around the cashless payments, meaning the e-commerce transactions. More merchants moving into online. More merchants are expanding into accepting transactions cross-border. And of course, the competition from the West, to name a few, some of the competition would be like Stripe, Adyen. They're coming to this part of the world to capture some of the market share, right? So that we are able to compete healthily, and for us, AsiaPay, to learn what are the benefits that we are able to provide to our merchants through innovation, through products, through multiple payment methods, and so on and so forth. So, of course, on the technical side, security is very important. And by handling money, cashless transactions, regulators are very concerned. And of course, we as a regulated entity in Malaysia, as well as the other regions, we are constantly being watched under the central bank of the country itself. And with that, we have to ensure that our technology risks have to rise to the expertise to ensure that the security level is up to standard.
Thank you.
So with that,
Sorry?
with that, so with that, at AsiaPay, to achieve all that, the people that we have, we need to be very positive, very focused, to be very proactive, as well as credible, to ensure that we are able to provide such standards to our merchants as well to our partner banks.
So, since AsiaPay is available in different countries across the Asia Pacific, how does AsiaPay personalize its services to meet the diverse needs of businesses across different countries and cultures?
So in different countries and cultures, the ultimate goal is to provide payment methods to our business partners, right? To go through the process of enabling the forms of payments via online and providing innovative products, security, and as well as cost-effective solutions that will make them competitive in the e-commerce landscape. So we encourage the merchants to bring this secure payment platform to their e-commerce stores and be able to offer premium payment methods to their users. So likewise, some of the usual payment methods will be the credit cards, the debit cards. And most of the countries now, as you may see, we have e-wallets that we are able, AsiaPay, they are able to enable the e-wallets, the local e-wallets. So in Malaysia, context would be the Grab, Touch and Go, Boost. In Thailand would be PromptPay, True Money. In Singapore would be SGQRAL, PayNow. In Hong Kong would be like PayMe from HSBC. So there's so many kinds of e-wallets in the region. And our key advantages is that we have presence across these regions. So we have integrated and we are able to enable those payment acceptance to our merchants if they grow regionally with us.
Okay. So now that cross-border transactions have become a really important thing. So can you tell me how cross-border transactions have become essential for global businesses, and how does AsiaPay facilitate seamless and secure cross-border payments?
Yeah. So as you may know, in the e-commerce world, it is already a borderless transaction. So if a merchants are able to accept cards from various payment scheme, for example, Visa or MasterCard, UnionPay, Discover Diners, JCB, these merchants are able to accept these payment brands of cards, even though they are located overseas. So even though if it's a Malaysian merchant, they're able to accept foreign cards. Okay, so with that, be it whether is it a localized merchant or a foreign merchant, they are already borderless. And we are going to have the same treatment, the same standards of security should apply to mitigate the risk of fraud. So hence, we work very closely with our partners like Visa and MasterCard to provide card tokenization services. One of them is from Visa is Visa Token Service, from MasterCard is MDES, and with that, the actual card numbers will not be reviewed, and transactions will be processed under the card token rather than the actual PAN numbers. And of course, AsiaPay as a certified 3DS provider, and 3DS is where we will issue a OTP to the user to provide the OTP number as an authentication, and that will happen once we complete that will happen to complete the transactions, and with that, the liability will shift to the user rather than to the merchant. So the merchants will not be impacted. So the user will have both security to log in to pay, as well as OTP to verify that you are you.
This is such a valuable insight for us, and I'm pretty sure it is going to be really valuable to our listeners. So moving on to the topic of e-commerce and business enablement, e-commerce has grown significantly. What are the methods that AsiaPay implements in to contribute to the growth of online businesses, especially startups and small enterprises?
Okay, AsiaPay will assist and support merchants in integrating the payment gateways to the acquirers. This is because AsiaPay has already integrated with multiple acquirers, not only in Malaysia, but also across Asia regions, which will allow the merchants to grow with us regionally. Being merchants, sometimes their pain points is on the technical side, and AsiaPay will provide those support and assistance to enable their e-commerce website to accept payments. So to that, making a payment is an important part of an overall customer experience. And you can use that process as a means to differentiate your business. Optimizing online payment experience to increase checkout conversion. More importantly, when I spoke about shopping cart just now, it has to be so seamless that you put your products into a shopping cart, and thereafter the next step you can check out conveniently, and that will increase the checkout conversions, and which translates to sales for the merchants. So optimizing local payment methods, which I mentioned just now, the alternate payment methods, the local e-wallets that we have other than just cards, and also to improve the mobile friendliness of the merchant site with clear and attractive visuals and smoother navigation. Personalizing the experience at all touch points, such as recommendation of solutions or products per customer's interests, and by sending personalized message, this will increase the customer's experience in buying products for the merchants, with the merchants. Leverage customers' data is very important to provide this data to the merchants, and appropriately explicit segmentizing the customers' profiles and standardization of data gathering processed across all channels of payments. Okay. And this is also to improve the response times for customers' queries when they populate through any of the channels, engage and address all customers' queries through live chats, intelligent chatbots, or interactive discussion. So, I mean, we have heard the buzzword AI, right? Artificial intelligence should be a play for the merchants to support their customers.
Okay. So, moving on to transparency and reassurance about security. What advice do you have for businesses looking to integrate AsiaPay's payment solutions into their online platforms?
The merchants, tech developers will only need to do one thing. They will need to integrate to our API. API meaning the application programming interface. Thereafter, AsiaPay will take it from there, connecting the merchants to their preferred acquirer. So it is as simple as digitally simple.
It is. Could you share
Yep.
some examples of AsiaPay's successful collaborations with financial institutions and businesses and their impact?
We add value to the financial institutions, the banks, or even payment partners like the third-party acquirers, or even payment schemes like Visa, Mastercards, as well as in Malaysia, we have our local partner called MyDebit, that they have our own local debit card. It's just by addressing the pain points of executing the technical part of things, integrating to the merchants, offering multiple payment acceptance methods, dashboard reporting, which is important to the merchants, and the operation and customer service support for our merchants, which the banks or the financial institution will not be able to support this. Reason being, enhancing the system for the FIs are very costly, and hence engaging a tech partner like us, AsiaPay, will address these pain points not only from the cost perspective, but also on the technical perspective as well.
So the payment industry is subject for regulations. You know how we have FinTech, and now for FinTech we have regulation, technology, and all. So how does AsiaPay stay compliant with various regulations while operating across different jurisdictions in different countries?
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, we are regulated. So we work very closely with the central banks. In Malaysia, it's called Bank Negara Malaysia, and we are licensed to perform our business as a payment gateway provider. Hence, we are consistently being audited by the regulators to ensure that we are compliant and certified with the standards of security. In this case here will be the PCI DSS, Payment Card Industry Data Security Standards. So in terms of security, we also work very closely with Visa and Mastercard, which I mentioned before, to provide the tokenization services, VTS as Visa Token Service, MDES as Mastercard Digital Enablement Service, to ensure tighter security on the card's PAN primary account number, to prevent fraudulent activities. So if you have used any wallets, or you are buying any of your cards into an e-wallet, or even a marketplace like Lazada or Shopee, you probably understand that the real card number will not be stored in the merchant. It is the token that is stored through the token vault, which I mentioned just now, VTS and MDES, and hence we won't reveal the actual PAN number, which the syndicates or the fraudsters are able to hijack from there.
So AsiaPay has already done a lot in the digital payment landscape, but just for future outlook, what can be expected from AsiaPay in terms of future innovations, expansion plans, or new services?
Well, AsiaPay will continue to support partners in growing their online business by providing innovative, secure, and cost-effective solutions to be in the industry, and also the future readiness. With digitalization and technological innovations taking over the economic sector of the world, we will continually embrace change and innovate to capitalize on the technology trends and strength, especially addressing the coming evolution of digital commerce, which includes IoT, Internet of Things, mobile payments, adoption of AI, payment data analytics, as well as blockchain technologies. On top of our existing country operation in Asia, we will also continue to expand our footprint in the world and to expand our payment solution and service coverage. And of course, further scale out and build stronger business partnership. Innovation and adjustment strategy, to name a few, we provide easy integration process with an open API, tokenization service, which I mentioned just now, the tap-to-pay solution that we are able to provide not only on e-commerce, but also on the face-to-face payment solution. Using biometric as a form of recognition, KYC to allow us to onboard merchants via online rather than just face-to-face. On top of that, we still have our 3DS secure to ensure that to authenticate the buyer, the purchaser. Crypto and blockchain is something that we are looking into it. For example, how do we purchase a product using cryptocurrency? Big data is an added value service to our merchants to provide our merchants in-depth aggregated data. Artificial intelligence and chatbot is something that we are embarking on to provide to our merchants to further provide more better customer experience to their customers.
Okay, so can you share us any customer success stories that showcase the impact of AsiaPay's services?
Yeah, so one of our stronghold in the industry is the hotels. So hotels, you have multiple online travel agencies that do online bookings. So with that, we are able to provide our payment methods that offers multiple cards and other comprehensive payment methods with multilingual hotels. They have a lot of tourists from across the world, and multi-channel payments that we are able to accept. And besides that, we have an advanced fraud detection and payment management solution. And hotels, we have integrated to many brands. I'm not sure, am I supposed to name the brands here, but most of them are top tier hotels. Not only that, the retailers, even in the beauty industry, they have managed to expand. Normally, beauty industry, you have to do face-to-face. I get to see you, I get to feel the product. But if I'm a loyal customer or regular customer of a particular brand, I can now purchase the particular product over e-commerce. So with e-commerce, the beauty industry has grown tremendously, touching across not only the local markets but across the region.
You being an expert in this field, I want some personal perspectives from your side. So could you share some insights from your personal experience about working in the digital payment industry and contributing to AsiaPay's growth?
All right. So my previous experience, I've always been a localized Malaysian handling the Malaysia market. In AsiaPay, we have presence across the region, and hence I am able to learn some of the capabilities and the knowledge and the experience from other regions, and likewise, vice versa, they are learning from the Malaysia market, people like me. So in which we have enabled many payment methods to support the merchants to grow regionally. Because of that, we believe in nurturing and to support the merchants to grow in the e-commerce space and addressing their pain points by customizing solutions they need. Likewise, the same objectives and direction for AsiaPay to support our partner banks as well in providing white label payment gateways, as well as enabling more e-commerce merchants for the banks. For the banks, it is very, very painful to do what we are doing, because the bread and butter of the bank is not just merchant acquiring, but likewise for AsiaPay, this is our bread and butter. So we have the experts, we are able to innovate the future, we are able to understand customer behavior, and with the presence that we have regionally, we are able to learn from each other, and across the region, we are able to provide those solutions that we feel that it works for the merchants as well as it works for the banks.
Okay, I will ask for one more advice. So what advice do you have for businesses, especially startups and SMEs, looking to adopt online payment solutions and enhance their digital presence?
To the new startups, continue dreaming. It means you need to continue to innovate, to transform and upgrade, right? We know that digital innovation can change the way we live and do business now. Business innovation through digital payments is to provide good customer experience. And of course, it is safe and secure. So new startups and SMEs, be brave, go into the e-commerce world. You will not regret it. You will expand your business tremendously.
Okay. So the last question. AsiaPay was awarded for being the most advanced payment service provider Malaysia 2023 in the annual Gazet International Award 2023. So how does it feel to be recognized for your achievements in the field of ever-growing digital payment landscape? And also, again, one last advice, I'm so sorry. What advice do you give to aspiring professionals who aim to achieve similar recognition and success in their careers or projects?
And thanks again for us to award us as the most advanced payment service provider in Malaysia. Having the privilege to receive such recognitions from annual Gazet International Award is an overwhelming honor, really. So this banking finance category award is aligned with our vision for the market expansion and to further deliver cross-border e-commerce convenience, not just in neighboring regions in Asia, but we may even extend to the west side of the world. In this technology age, we can testify that striving for globalization, digitization, and building wide range of partnerships can lead to all kinds of business success. It is my great privilege to receive such prestigious award. Definitely a strong endorsement for us to recognize our efforts in supporting Malaysia's businesses, particularly in innovation. This will further boost AsiaPay's firm commitment to support the continued demand in Malaysia. My advice to my fellow awardees is to strive harder in this industry. With the latest acknowledgement added to our businesses, credentials, and expertise, a reliable and credible performance as well as reputation is important for each of our respective companies. As for the startups, for now, breaking in the market is what makes your business that's what strive for business to be better, but by offering innovative technologies and solutions. And that can serve both the retailers and buyers would be more needed in the long run. In building a business, you may encounter shortcomings, but having a goal-driven mindset and that can lead you to a greater success. So let's embrace change and digital innovation for the future.
That was really amazing. Thank you so much for providing us with so much insights. So like these insights are so valuable, and it's so helpful to people who are, stepping a foot in this platform, in this landscape. And again, I cannot thank you enough for joining us in our podcast. This is actually our first episode. And once again, Mr. Lu, thank you so much, and congratulations for your achievement from the GI Magazine Awards.
Yeah, thank you very much, and be brave and venture into the digital innovation.